shout out to everybody who's put this together. I also want to thank you for being here today. I know it can be difficult to choose which session to attend at a conference, especially this conference. I know, I go through it every year when I look at the calendar. To introduce myself, I am Namaara MacMoragh, aka G. Ronnie Kraegel in my first life. I have 30 plus years independent consulting experience focusing on helping nonprofits and cooperatives develop capacity through training and information management and organizational systems development. I'm also the chief groundskeeper at Etopia community in Second Life. Today, I'd like to talk about how Etopia is a virtual collaboration space for nonprofits, environmentalists, advocates, and professionals from around the world, focused on organic, cooperative, and sustainable living systems. More than that, though, I'd like to share how we work together to foster community connections and innovative solutions to real-world challenges. So, let's start with a little bit about Etopia. Etopia, like all good themed sims, has a story, which I'd like to share with you. Imagine a mining town built on the ignorance and greed of a company that profited from stripping the earth, leaving it barren and the people who lived there impoverished. As time went on, that community of people began to embrace a simpler, healthier, and more sustainable way to live. Over time and through the generations, a new community evolved that incorporated a way of life that was in balance with nature and mindful of the needs of their neighbors. New ideas are born. Everyone contributes to the sustainability of the community, and everyone benefits. Welcome to Etopia. Now, Etopia is not a role-play sim, nor is it an attempt to create a utopian experience. Our theme simply sets the stage. It gives us a backdrop for a community experience. Etopia was established in 2007 to address key issues about the effects of climate change, particularly peak oil, and to showcase new ideas. We started as a community of real-world professionals, of teachers and activists, advocates, and individuals who wanted to explore what a better quality of life for ourselves and others could look like. What a wonderful vision! Sharing what life could be like if we lived in co-housing, grew organic produce, biked to work, and recycled things. The idea was to teach others, and it was a perfect place to start. The slide that I have up shows the Sustainable Energy Science Lab created by our friends at energyteachers.org. The lab has interactive builds, and it engages visitors in learning more about energy. Dry mouth is not a good thing to have when you're trying to speak. In 2016, they included Etopia as part of their Green Dollhouse Challenge. Participants strive for rewards based on achievement, not competition. Green Dollhouse Challenge participants of all ages, from preschoolers to experienced architects, build model playhouses to explore sustainability. This includes concepts and technologies related to a host of things: energy production, energy use, efficiency, materials, architecture, utility, aesthetics, appreciation of nature, renewable resources, true wealth, healthy living, clean air, and clean water. Hosting the project at Etopia was fun, and it engaged Second Lifers to participate in ways they may not have otherwise been able to. Etopia has become an educational staple for many schools and universities in the United States, the UK, Germany, Brazil, Australia, and a number of other countries. High school teachers in various parts of the US have streamed Etopia into their classrooms as part of discussions on topics such as alternative energy, sustainable agriculture, and climate change. And classes come into Second Life for hands-on learning. I often meet with students exploring Etopia, working on a class assignment. These aren't students that are necessarily taking classes within Second Life. These are often students taking the class in a real-world setting and using Etopia to supplement their learning experience. It has always been, and it still is, believe me, a great experience for me to meet people who are at Etopia just for a class they're in or a project they're working on. It's a chance to learn as much from them as they want to learn from visiting us. But still, that alone, though valuable in so many ways, was a limited application of what we could offer. I joined Etopia in 2008 with the idea of utilizing Second Life as a way to bring distributed teams together in a way that felt more real and able to create person-to-person, around the table feeling that teleconferences and email threads seem to lack. When I took ownership of Etopia in 2009, I wanted to blend what Etopia was with what I believed it could be, a virtual collaboration space that influenced real-world change. So one of the best tools for sharing ideas and information that we use is the storyteller. Storytellers are non-player characters found throughout Etopia. Now, initially, the storytellers were a way to let visitors know about Etopia without having an overabundance of signs and note card givers everywhere. And this solved two problems. The first was language. All the signs were in English. But with a storyteller sharing the same information in chat, it allows non-English speakers to use a translation tool and still get the benefit of what we share. The second was overload. This is a cognitive challenge that many people struggle with. It's when someone is subjected to too much data or stimulus at one time, and they simply shut down, and they're unable to process what's happening around them. This is common for individuals after traumatic brain injury or those with other visual or cognitive challenges, as we've learned from working with real-world organizations, Brain Energy Support Team, and Virtual Ability. Storytellers quickly evolved to share important information and tips, making the experience of learning feel more interactive. That means more of our ideas are leaving Etopia, which increases the likelihood of that information being used in real life to help create a healthier world, and I believe, over time, stronger communities. Keep in mind, though, that not all of our non-player characters at Etopia are storytellers. Storytellers can be easily identified by the HoverScript storyteller. And to make it a little more fun, our storytellers have names. Leia Storyteller, for example, greets you when you arrive and offers you a gift. Mahatma Gandhi said, "Be the change you want to see in the world." Every time we learn a new way to reuse something or a better way to recycle, or to learn how to be mindful, and we do it, then we are definitely creating change for social good. We had such great feedback on the storytellers that we began to expand them to talk about things like poverty, gender issues, and healthcare. As an example, we collaborated with Whole Brain Health and Second Life at Inspiration Island for the recent Women in Science, Technology, Engineering Arts, and Mathematics Conference. Female storytellers were placed around Etopia Island to share information, including eye-opening statistics and stories of real-world women in these fields. Afterward, the STEAM component was removed, but the idea and the storytellers remain. So why is this kind of thing important? And why on an eco-themed simulation? More and more young women are exploring not only video games, but virtual worlds, virtual reality, and augmented reality. Think of things like The Sims, Sansar, Ingress, and Pokemon Go. Even Google Translate and IKEA Catalog have gotten in on the act. The point is that how we share information is not only changing, but how we engage others in experiencing that information is changing. Increasing numbers of women visit Etopia to learn about solar power, water reclamation, tiny house architecture, among a host of other topics as part of their studies. The kind of information raises their awareness to not only the challenges they might face, but the opportunities. Over the past 11 years, Etopia has addressed not only environmental issues and how to create real-world changes that protect our planet. We have evolved to take on an ever-changing social and educational landscape as illustrated by our STEAM storytellers. We have evolved. Yeah. I love using a HUD. We also encourage activism and create opportunities to learn about peaceful civil disobedience and getting the message out. During the Standing Rock protests against the American federal government's push to build an oil pipeline through Lakota territory, we held regular protests and drumming circles at Etopia. We used animations and interactive bills to simulate the feeling of being actively engaged in the protests. We streamed in prayer sessions and music from the real-world Standing Rock community as those audios and video clips became available. We had animations and protest signs available, a drumming circle, and a dance circle. We met weekly for several months, but the protest site at Etopia remained available for visitors whenever we were meeting or not, whether we were meeting or not. Did that work? Right? Good thing it's in text too. The fact that these things were available for visitors to interact with whenever they came to Etopia increased our outreach on an important topic that goes so far beyond sharing information about the environmental effects of all oil pipelines and water resources. In this case, it gave people passionate about the cause, but unable to travel to North Dakota, an opportunity to gather with like-minded people in similar situations and to share in a uniquely unifying experience. As an aside, it also helped to raise some money for food and other necessities that we sent to a trusted friend who was at Standing Rock at the time. This is just a small example of how we foster connections to create real-world impact. How to blend the virtual experience with real-world impact is a guiding motivation as Etopia continues to develop. As I mentioned earlier, Etopia partners with architects, engineers, permaculturists, and others who bring their ideas to our community, share resources, and build prototypes before spending significantly more money on real-world products. We also connect our residents and group members with experts within Second Life that are doing unique things. For the past couple of years, Neela Miller, Marley Molina, and Second Life has facilitated a climate change workshop for Etopia. It's a wonderful exercise in symbolic modeling that was applied to the issue of climate change to guide us in better understanding our feelings about the issues. The workshop was based on her real-world work in applying symbolic modeling to engage participants in a creative way around a topic or issue. We had the opportunity to interact with the climate change issues, not just talk about them. The 2016 session, by the way, was recorded in 2 parts and can be seen on our YouTube channel for those who are interested in seeing how that kind of workshop was done. Building on the success of Etopia's environmental education and outreach, I wanted to continue building partnerships with others in Second Life that bridge the virtual experience into real-world outcomes. And I wanted to do it in a way that enhanced our community and added to the richness of the Etopia experience. So we built strong working relationships with Second Life communities such as Virtual Ability, a leading organization supporting individuals with disabilities in virtual environments. We've learned so much from this beautiful community of professionals and individuals. Everything from accessibility to universal design that enriches a Second Life user's experience. Research, how about some more water? Research shows that engaging in virtual environments has positive benefits for those dealing with the effects of depression, weight management, fitness goals, socialization, PTSD, and much more. Blending this knowledge into how we approach the virtual experience at Etopia means the experience will be richer and our message of living a better quality of life has greater impact. We're also very proud to have Peninsula College and the Brain Energy Support Team at Etopia. Renee Amico Brock, Zinnia Zauber in Second Life, is an artist and a multimedia communications faculty and department coordinator at Peninsula College in Washington State. Her students, the hero's journey, and her superhero workshops have become a vital part of Etopia. She's a friend and collaborator in real life too. A real-world relationship that could not have been possible if it weren't for the work that we do in Second Life. So, shout out to another partner, Nonprofit Commons, for facilitating these kinds of connections. The work that Zinnia does with Peninsula College at Etopia opens opportunities for our residents to consider real-world education and education in Second Life in ways they may not have even thought about before. And we've been able to blend the college experience with the Etopia community experience. This gives students a multifaceted educational, business, and social space that demonstrates in a hands-on way the concepts of virtual world impact on real-world activities and how real-world input can shape the activities of our virtual world. I mentioned the Brain Energy Support Team earlier. BEST is a United States-based nonprofit that provides education and peer support for individuals with brain injury and their families. In 2011, they established an office at Etopia that was originally set up to raise awareness in Second Life about brain injury. Since that time, though, they have facilitated support groups, caregiver respite field trips, presentations, and helped create cognitive-friendly experiences at Etopia. BEST also set up a quilting shop It is a virtual representation of a program they lead in real life. The program develops a variety of skills, and it also gives quilters an opportunity to create and sell their work. Similarly, in Second Life, best members are able to learn and practice social and practical skills, such as transactional skills, object identification, and better communication. They also have a quilting class that gives participants an opportunity to create virtual quilts and other art builds. We know from the research that's been done and anecdotal data that those participating in virtual worlds, augmented reality, and virtual reality have the same emotional response to their virtual experiences as though they were real. This is due to the firing of mirror neurons in our brain. Mirror neurons were identified about 30 years ago, and these neurons are located in the prefrontal area of the brain along with our motor command neurons. Functional MRIs have shown that specific parts of our brain are active when we perform an action, and also when we see another person performing an action. That's why, for example, we wince when someone gets hit with a ball, or why we get choked up when we see someone get teary while giving a speech. Mirror neurons are important for understanding the actions and intentions of other people and for learning new skills by imitation. They're involved in planning and controlling actions, abstract thinking, and memory. Mirror neurons are why visitors to Etopia feel a sense of being with others, even if there are only storytellers nearby. When storytellers share information, it feels like someone is telling them these things, which is a very different experience than reading a sign. And I don't have anything against signs. I got plenty of them all over Etopia. I'm just saying. Because of the impact of that experience, they're more likely to remember the information once they log out of Second Life. Think about the places you go, whether it's Second Life or other virtual worlds. I suspect that you enjoy the interaction with an object more than just seeing that object. That's why animations are so valuable when you row a virtual boat, or why the sound of virtual hooves make horseback riding such fun. It's also why participants in classes that extend the learning experience to Etopia get so much out of the lesson, and why those who participate in the training and peer support activities of BEST report being able to see improvements in areas of their actual daily lives. BEST built their peer center next door to the Peninsula College campus at Etopia. In a rustic and relaxed setting, they provide workshops on respectful communication, identity after TBI, and daily life skills training. The participants in these groups and workshops are then guided through practicing what they've learned in social and business settings within Etopia and partner communities. They are then encouraged to take the skills they've learned and practiced virtually into their real-life encounters. Utilizing this and other techniques to support meaningful engagement is important, not only for those with brain injury or cognitive challenges or students working on class projects. It's important for the engineers, designers, teachers, and others that I mentioned earlier that build prototypes, develop their ideas, or share their work at Etopia. Our virtual experience at Etopia supports a richer real-world experience as well. Engaging in virtual worlds is an immersive, robust, and exciting way to engage participants in learning new things, develop real-world skills, and to try out new ideas in a safe environment. Many studies have also shown that playtime for adults increases productivity and enhances overall well-being. What is playtime? Well, it's slowing down. It's enjoying something just for yourself. And it's engaging in activities just for pleasure. Maybe it's taking a mindfulness walk up to Eagle Peak, watching the whales in the bay, or sailing the waterways around our regions. It could be joining others in a Tai Chi class, biking, swimming, shopping, dancing, enjoying piano music with Ari, or enjoying the company of friends at Seidel's Cafe. Etopia is a community that fosters real-world connections for learning, innovation, skills development, sharing of ideas, and collaboration that impact real-world social change. Etopia is also a community built on the idea that it's okay to give ourselves permission to play. Thank you. At this point, I'm going to turn off my microphone, and I'm going to answer any questions that you might have. I'm going to answer those questions in chat only, and I won't be using voice.